Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I just finished Helion Reign and it is okay. Helion Reign is about a group of Raven Guard who have to go on a Spec Ops mission during a war against the Tyranids. They are to fight through the ranks of the foul Xenos in order to reach and blow up a power station. The idea being that they could kill a whole bunch of Nids that way, potentially even allowing the Imperium to win the war that they are currently losing. To make matters even more complex though, the planetary government tried to improvise a nuclear strike upon the Tyranid bioships, but they missed. In their panic, they accidentally shot their Exterminatus-class weaponry upon their own moon, which has now broken apart and the fragments are raining down like meteorites upon the planet. Of course, if you want to know if the Sons of Corax can save the day, you'll have to listen to the audio drama yourself. Let me first start off by saying that the drama does an excellent job at setting the tone with the destruction of the moon. This truly is a stroke of genius in my opinion. It displays the panic caused by the encroaching Tyranids, which is severely increased by the Shadow and the Warp. It highlights the futility of fighting against the Tyranids, as the planet would have been doomed even if the missile had hit, but moreover, it just has something terribly grim. A planet that is wrecked by meteorites from its own moon that had accidentally destroyed itself. Another highlight is the world building in regards to the Raven Guard. This book shows a lot of rituals and cultural aspects of the Raven Guard that paint a pretty cool and yes also pretty edgy picture of the Nevermore Marines. It shows you what the small bird skulls are all about for an example, and it explores their combat mindset. So yeah, if you like the Raven Guard, then I would recommend spending an hour listening to this, as it might help you flesh out your understanding of them. For Tyranid fans, this too is a recommendation, as unlike most other Tyranid media I have consumed so far, we actually see some cool creatures in this one. On top of that, the Tyranids are portrayed in a cunning and creepy way, rather than just as a mindless swarm that intends to overwhelm by sheer numbers. Instead, we actually see them playing mind games with the Imperials. Sadly, the story isn't all good. One major gripe I have with it is that it is boulder porn in its purest form. Sure, there is some world building and some bleakness that makes it somewhat entertaining, but there isn't really a cool plot to speak of except go there and do this. There's no intrigue, no interesting dialogue, and sure as hell no character development. In fact, the characters, who you are probably supposed to care for, are utterly devoid of anything that could make them interesting. There is very little exploration of who they are, and thus I can't say that I cared when they died 50 minutes later. The final issue I have is that the audio part of the audio drama is on the level of a high school assignment. Now that is maybe somewhat exaggerated, but it just isn't taught out well. Instead of creating this blend between spoken descriptions and audio, we just get someone saying what happens and then a couple of seconds during which audio plays that vaguely represents that. For an example, this guy walks up to a wounded Tyranid. Step, step, step. The Tyranid lets out a cry. Scream! He shoots it. Boom! The entire idea of an audio drama is that you can skip these descriptions because the noise should be doing the describing for you. Regardless, this hour-long lecture on the Raven Guard and the Tyranids wasn't entirely a waste of time, so for the cool world building and the nice bleak tone, I'm still giving it 3 to 5 Cadian moons. For Raven Guard fans or Tyranid fans, I definitely do recommend giving it a listen, as it fleshes out some aspects of these factions while also portraying them in a quite positive light. For other Warhammer fans, I'd recommend skipping this, as there is little to like except the bleak tone. But that is something books like Hell's Reach, Dead Man Walking, or The End in the Dead do just as well, if not better. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and click ringing the bell to appease the Great Horned Rat. For more lore content, please check my main channel and leave any book recommendations in the comments down below. I gotta get back to reading the next book.